There's something magnetic about Cillian Murphy. It's in the way he walks into a scene with eyes that seem to carry the weight of 1,000 secrets and a silence that often says more than any line ever could. He's not just an actor. He's a ghost in a tailored suit, a whisper in the chaos and for millions around the world. He is Tommy Shelby. But what happens when that ghost promises to return? The BBC series Peaky Blinders wasn't simply a crime drama. It was a phenomenon. 6 seasons of razor-capped glory, painting a portrait of a post-war Britain through the eyes of the Shelby family, brutal and broken, yet hopeful in the most tragic sense. And at its center was Cillian Murphy, stoic, ruthless, mesmerizing. For a time, the world thought the final season was goodbye. But recently, Murphy made a promise, one that has lit a fuse. Under fans across the globe, he has sworn. The story isn't over. At a quiet round-table interview, after his Oscar win for Oppenheimer, Murphy sat among suits and suits of cameras, a familiar place. Yet somehow different this time. The interviewer leaned in and asked the one question that's followed him for years. Will there ever be a Peaky Blinders movie? Murphy didn't rush the answer. He gave that signature pause if he weighed not just the words, but the soul behind them. And then came the promise. Yes, it's happening. We're going to finish it. Tommy Shelby will return. And just like that, the world held its breath. But to understand why this promise matters so much, we have to go back. Back to 2013. When the first episode aired on BBC Two, one knew that a relatively quiet period drama about a Birmingham gang could become a global obsession. But it did thanks largely to one man, Cillian. Murphy didn't want cliches, he didn't want a gangster. He wanted poetry. Tommy Shelby wasn't just another TV anti-hero. He was a man built on trauma, a war veteran, with nothing left but ambition and trauma-filled hallucinations, a brother, a father, a man losing himself as he tried to save everyone else. And Murphy, he didn't just act. He disappeared into Tommy Shelby. The weight loss, the chain smoking, the quiet voice with violent undertones became iconic off-set. Murphy was different. Quiet, allergic to fame. He would take the train to set instead of a limo. He'd retreat home to his wife and sons in Dublin, avoiding the Hollywood spotlight. Yet, every time that camera rolled, he transformed. But what many fans don't know is how much pain went into those performances, especially during the final season in 2021. The Peaky Blinders family suffered a devastating blow. Helen McCrory, who played the iron-hearted matriarch, Polly Gray, passed away from cancer. She was the show's soul, and her absence was deeply felt. None more so than by Murphy himself in interviews. He could barely talk about her without emotion. She was my closest colleague. We always stood side by side. I still can't believe she's gone. Filming the final season without her was unbearable in many ways. It changed the ending. The series tried to bring closure, but you could feel it pulled its punches. It didn't say goodbye with a roar. It left with a whisper, and Cillian Murphy knew that wasn't enough. Show creator Stephen Knight has long promised a feature film to wrap up the story. Locations had been scouted. Scripts were quietly underway, but every journalist wanted the same confirmation. Would Cillian Murphy return? Without him, there's no Peaky Blinders. No Tommy, no soul. Until now, that promise has finally been made. What makes this even more remarkable is that Murphy didn't have to do it. After Oppenheimer, he reached a new level of fame. Oscar winner, globe traveler, artistic freedom. Many expected him to move on to choose roles far detached from the shadowy streets of Birmingham. But maybe that's why he's coming back. Because for Cillian, it was never about the fame, never about playing cool. It was always about the story. He knows what Tommy, Shelby meant to people. He knows how deeply the audience connected, not just to the action or the clothes or the quotes, but to the pain behind those piercing blue eyes. He's a man trying so hard not to fall apart. And in a way, aren't we all? From Brazil to Birmingham, from Tokyo to Tennessee, the Shelby name lives on. That signature haircut, the cigarette dangling side glance, even the quotes by order of the Zealots. My only lipstick, ruby kiss, ruby kiss. Only ruby kiss has the luxurious texture. That was prepped, Millet, I see, with CZ, with Sellers, and Liv. It's CZ Alive. We see the alive. You see, with CZ Aloe with CZI. My A, my Wissy May, my May we side, my Ez, like I, by me, with Sid Lud, Cod. We sit it, I see it, I cret. Well, I lead it's a kasa, lead it's a creek, it is a glass, sit kit, I got the reason, sit a glad, to make it lot. A bit, beat, Peaky Blinders have become generational mantras. A movie isn't just a continuation, it's a homecoming. It's a final bow, and according to those close to the production, it could be so much more than we ever expected. Not just the return of Tommy, but the rise of a new generation. The next Shelby legacy. The truth about Alfie Solomons. The unfinished wars. The unsaid goodbyes. The ghosts still haunting Birmingham streets. Murphy himself said, "We've built something special. We owe it to the characters, the fans, and to Helen, to finish it right." That is the heart of this. This isn't just a sequel, it's a farewell letter. A promise made not just with words, but with heart. So as cameras prepare to roll once again in dim corridors of smoky pubs and blood-soaked fields, one man stands at the center of it. All, not a hero, not a villain, just a haunted soul in an razor blade cap. Cillian Murphy is coming back, and this time it's personal. By order of the Peaky Blinders. If you've ever felt lost, broken, hungry for a story that sees the darkness in you but still leaves room for redemption, then maybe, like the rest of Usur, just waiting to see how it all ends. And now, thanks to Cillian Murphy's promise,